Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm really excited to bring this review to you today because I didn't think I would get it this early. This is the Transformers Siege Refraktor Reconnaissance Team 3-pack. What this is a 3-pack of the Refraktor figures done up in their original G1 colors with a couple extra parts and sold as a set. And according to the shipping label from Hasbro Pulse, this would have been the second convention exclusive had HasCon 2019 happened. Now, I can't really tell you what the other convention exclusives would have been. I've heard rumors, not just for Transformers, but all across, but that's what the shipping label says. Now, normally, I don't start with the packaging, but this box is really cool, and a lot of the price went into it. So this is made to look like a DSLR camera box, and in fact you can see Refraktor right through the front. Have some Cybertronian writing on the front, a couple images on the side. I'm sure this, if you have a black light, this is going to pop with a whole bunch of stuff, but there's something here on the back that I thought was kind of funny. Basically, it says right here that Refraktor is not a real camera, and the individual figures are not meant to be sold separate. Kind of, defeats the purpose when people are breaking up sets. I mean, that's going to happen. Opening up the box, and I did pull the tab just for ease, we have some really cool stuff inside. First, we have the instruction manual, which is done up like the instructions of a DSLR camera. And it reveals that the 3 guns that are still molded exactly the same all have different names. Because, there's no Transformer fans that are just a touch OCD and would want to make sure that the right blaster goes to the right member of the team. No, not at all. But they also reveal the names for the individual characters. Pop open the top here, and again, like the packaging of a DSLR camera, and you can see the camera, Kremzeek, and the blasters inside. So we'll pop that down, push it up against the back, we'll flip that down. Got the plastic covering. 2 of the blasters, 3rd blaster, Kremzeek, who, by the way, does have the blast effect ports, so you can't stick this on other figures. And here, let me get the box out of the way, is Refraktor. And as you can see, the new pieces are the flash, the little covering here, and this side piece which adds a shutter button, film advance, little controls there. So there's a little bit of a assembly to do to get the tripod connected to the tripod. So we'll pause and we'll come back, take a closer look at the set. Okay, so here's Refraktor in its camera form. For directions on how to form the camera, go back and take a look at my original Refraktor review. This we're going to start in camera mode and go back to the original robot modes. But as you can see, the extra parts are cross-compatible with the mainline retail Refraktor figures, but I don't think they'll really color match. But they do add a lot to making this look more like a real camera. As you can see, here's the individual robots, and yes, believe it or not, there is a metallic paint being used, which I think is great. So that's a nice touch. But yeah, let's not fool around. Let's get right into it. One thing I do want to mention is, as you saw, the shutter, the two of the shutters are here on the back. The third one was on the waist of viewfinder, so you had to pop the lens off and grab it to make the tripod. And the tripod, basically, you pop this section off, and then you separate the three guns. They do peg together, slot and hole. Then there's 3 slots on top that go into the tabs here. Full disclosure, this does tab in a little more solidly than the mainline retail release, so you might need a little help with that. We'll put those off to the side. Next thing you want to do is just remove the lens. It pegs in the front here. There's a 2 and then a third tab down at the bottom. And this just pops apart like this. Taking it apart, putting it together, this as well feels a little more solid than on the mainline retail release, which is good because often plugging it in, it would collapse in my hand. So that's a very positive improvement. The flash here just pops right off. You do have 2 different connection points there. Up to you if you want to use it as a handheld weapon. And now for the covering here, you just swing it out to the side, open up that part, and unpeg it. And that becomes a little bit like a shield. We'll get more into that and the smaller parts when we look at the individual figures. And then this will just pop out like this. They separates like so. And then rotate out these little pieces here. And I'll show you what to do with those. But now here's the core of Refraktor. Separate them like so. And we're going to pause, and I'll show you how to transform them from the cube into robot. Okay, we're going to do the center component, which is called viewfinder. I did already go ahead and reattach his little shutter piece. But again, to see how to put them in the cube, watch my previous review on the mainline retail Refraktor figures. First, what you want to do is pop. You can actually open up these landing skids there, give you a little clearance, but get your thumb in there and, of course, this one, oh, there you go. Pop the legs out, just like so. Swing them down. If they don't separate on their own, separate them. Fold those skids in. Rotate the figure around at the waist. Rotate the legs around so they're facing forward. Bring the arms forward like so. Bend the arms down at the elbow and then rotate them forward. Come in underneath. Little tabs here to help flip the fists out. If they're a little tight or they get stuck, you can use one of the guns to help pop them out. And finally, bring up the head. Now, I prefer to rotate the head around when going to cube mode sometimes, but Hasbro obviously didn't. Now, since this is the one who's going to be viewfinder, right here in this little shoulder area, which I actually didn't realize the figures had and was a connection point, you have these little shoulder pieces. Slide them in just like so. On the original toy, going back to the 1980s, this was connected to the shoulders. This obviously had to be a separate piece, but not bad, and I'm sure it's cross-compatible. And then, of course, grab the shield if you like. You can, again, plug it in different ways, and give Viewfinder his gun. And I should mention the different names for the guns, and you'll excuse me while I look this up to be proper and official. The Optic Blaster, Lens Laser, and Shutter Blaster. I don't know which one is which, and that's kind of freaking me out, because I'd like to know and who they go with and all that stuff. But the articulation is the same on all the figures. So what I'll do now is we'll pause and I'll show you how to armor up each subsequent member of the team. Before I continue, I just want to quickly point out, I'm sure what you already realize, all these parts are modular and can be used in different ways. So they can go with any character if you want to put them all on one, or separate them. That's up to you. I'm just showing like how the instructions show it, and we can go that way if you so desire. But this is Spyglass. He gets the flash. You can just peg it in the arm just like that. Or you can use the peg from camera mode. Give him one of the guns. Just like so. And then, of course, the shield. And, you can have it up on the shoulder like this. I usually tend to, keep them a little lower down. Normally, I put the shields on the forearm, but just to differentiate, we'll do it up on the shoulder. But there you go. That's Spyglass for you. I really like the blue, the metallic blue, and see how the light's picking it up. And, oops-a-diddly-doo, I forgot to rotate his waist around. Good thing I caught that before somebody left a comment in the comments section. So, yep. Now let's take a look at Spectro. I was just remembering having the original Refraktor set as a child, and how basically, if you had the original Takara version, the flash bulb fired missiles. There was another spring-loaded missile projector. I mean, the head here, I think it was actually on Spectro, was the shutter button, and it actually moved. I mean, it was really a fun set. But to start off, let's go ahead and connect the shield. This one will peg in on the arm right there. You're going to use the second peg down, and then just come around the back and rotate it into place, just around the arm like that. You can still, bend at the elbow and what have you, but that kind of locks up the arm. And then coming around on the other side. Now, it says just give them the blaster, but of course, if you want to, go ahead, since you do have the peg here, throw on that other piece. Also, I should mention, the instructions show that Spectro and Spyglass do not have these little shutter dials on their stomach, but, I mean, there's other places on the figure you can stick them if you so desire, but I'm like, why not? But, yeah, I like the red. I mean, I personally prefer Viewfinder and Spyglass because they're blue, but, and I really like how that shield works with the figure. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pause, and I'll show you how to transform the figures into their shuttle mode, and then how these parts can sort of interact and attach that way. It's not officially shown in the instructions, but it's been shown in promotional photos. Okay, so what you want to do is, to start, remove all the armor and weapon pieces. Those will be used later on. Go ahead, flip this back up. Rotate the head around if you so wish. That's what I do. That will expose a post at the top. So you remove the little shutter disc and plug it in there. And I think I've mentioned this a few times, but definitely the holes are a little tighter because of the paint. Rotate the arms. The elbows are facing inward. Come down to the waist. Rotate the waist around, and then rotate the legs so they're facing out to the side. The toes are pointing outward. Come around the back. Fold the arms all the way back, and there are tabs on the forearm that when you press down will peg into slots on the waist. Just like so. Next, come into the leg. You can also do this before you rotate them if you so desire. Fold down, the landing skids, fold the toes out, and this is something I screwed up in my original review. You want the shield facing up, like so. There's a little tab on the peg here that will line up with the notch by the hole in the foot, and get that plugged in a little. It was pegged in a little, pegged, and then squeeze it all together. That will peg everything tightly and securely, and bring the chest down like so. Fold out this clear piece. There are 2 tabs right there that will fit into 2 slots at the upper leg. Finally, take the lens piece, and that will cover up the torso area. And now with Spyglass, you can just take the flash piece and peg it into any of the holes here. They will fit. It should fit. There you go. And he's got that. Here, let me bring in Viewfinder. It isn't pretty, but what you can do is take the little shoulder pegs and you can, with I think with the Refraktor name facing up, peg them in like that. Like I don't remember how the promo photos had them exactly. Now, Spectro, unfortunately, for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to get this shield to peg in. I've tried removing the back lens piece, pegging it on the side. I think the photos just show it, like, in all honesty, laying on top like that. Unless it's supposed to peg into that hole right there, but the connection's a little tight, and that's clear plastic, and I don't want to break anything. So, we'll just pause right now, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. Didn't want you to think I forgot about Little Kremzeek. I think it's a great inclusion in the Siege line, and I think the character fits well. Yeah, I really enjoy this set. The presentation, the colors, the fit and finish. None of the molds are like loose or sloppy. There's no second mold syndrome going on here. But here's my complaint. I think I paid about $74 for this, and I think that's with tax, because I got it off of Hasbro Pulse, so I had the free shipping. I think I would have felt a lot better paying $64, because these are $20 figures, and the extra $14, I mean, for little plastic accessories and the box. Yes, I understand exclusives are always going to be a little more expensive, but I remember the days when a gift set, was actually less than the buying the figures individually. But the presentation and the appearance and finish of the figures, I kind of can overlook it. If you already have the individual Refraktor figures, 3 of them, I think this is worth picking up, because you have 3 repaints you can use as drones. As I mentioned in the beginning, the accessory pieces are cross-compatible. They just may not fit in aesthetically with the animation scheme. If you haven't bought Refraktor yet, you're having a trouble finding all 3 in the stores, or you have one and can't find 2 more, definitely pick this set up so you can experience having a new Refraktor figure in 2019. Refraktor, you know what I'm talking about. I keep slipping back and forth. And, as something I should mention, the instruction booklet that's included, that is the only place that gives you text instructions how to form camera mode. Other than that, you have to watch guys like me. I do appreciate you watching. So, with that said, It's your old pal Chuck. And one note before I go, if you enjoy this video, please consider watching my Masterpiece 44 Optimus Prime version 3 review. Yes, I know it's a little long, but all money raised from that video is going to the GoFundMe of internet wrestling personality Chris Hyatt. He's medically not doing well and can use the support of his fans and friends. So I really would appreciate that, because you know, it's not getting the views I kind of hoped it would, and it's not getting the support from the usual sources that I hoped it would. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.